Hi there, this is Nick Devine from The Print Coach and welcome to this coaching video. What we're going to be talking about today is how do you find new clients for your printing company. Now, when you have the ability to find a steady flow of new business and additional sales coming into your company, you're going to begin to feel more confident about the future and you're going to have more power in your clients' accounts. But if you don't have the ability to get new sales, your competition are going to hold power over you in your marketplace. And what you'll notice is in your relationships with your customers will hold the upper hand, not you. And you need to be in the controlling situation when you're dealing with your customers, because that's how you protect your sales and protect the profitability of your business. Now, if you don't know how to find new sales, you're not going to be able to achieve your business growth goals. But if you've got a system that enables you to bring new sales and new business into your company, that does give you the opportunity to achieve either your sales goals or your business growth goals. Because when you develop the ability to find new sales, what will happen is you'll develop more relationships in your market and more people will want to buy from you. But if you can't develop those relationships, then obviously people won't want to associate with you to the level that you need to, and your sales will suffer. So when we say find new sales, what exactly do we mean by that? Well, depending on how familiar you are with some of my material, you may have heard me talk about this before, which is it's a way of describing the sales process. So how do you find, win, keep and grow the best quality and best possible customers in your marketplace? So when we say find, what we're talking about there is lead generation. So how do you find new business opportunities? Win means conversion, so sales conversion. So how do I take the prospect into a paying client? Keep is customer loyalty. So once I've got the first transaction, what do I now need to do to keep that customer long term in my business? And then grow is account expansion. So how do I grow the account once I've done the first few transactions in it? What we're talking about today is the find part of that equation. How do you find new business opportunities and new sales opportunities for your business? Because we all know new sales is the lifeblood of any business, but increasingly it's a more difficult part for most printers, because many printers really don't have a predictable system to bring new sales opportunities into the business, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. What's great about the system I'm going to be teaching you today is it works. It's very predictable. I've used it across multiple industries, and I've been in the printing industry maybe 2.5, 3 years, and we've been using it consistently in the printing industry, and have clients using it in the printing industry on 4 different continents, and it works predictably well in every one of them. Now, the principle behind what we're going to be talking about today is the principle of leveraging existing relationships to get to new relationships. Now, we may call that introductions, we may call it referrals, it doesn't matter what we call it. What I call it is a filing cabinet referral system. And I'll explain in a few minutes why it's called the filing cabinet referral system. In order to understand why it's called that, there's something we need to understand first, which is why do traditional referral requests or requests for introductions fail? Now, if you're like me, what I did first when I started in selling, what I was told is you should ask for referrals. So I thought that seemed to make sense. What happened is I would ask, I wouldn't get them, so then I stopped asking for them, and obviously that then pretty much limited my opportunity to get referrals coming in. So imagine this for a moment. Imagine I'm sitting in my office, and I've got one of my colleagues sitting in the office next door, and I'm about to go out to a meeting. So I'm about to go out to a sales meeting. And let's say it's Paige is sitting in the office next door. And I say to Paige, I said, hey, Paige, I'm running out to a meeting. Can you grab me the customer file? It's in the filing cabinet. So she says to me, where in the filing cabinet? And I say, Paige, I'm in a rush. Can you just grab the file, please? And she said, Nick, I know you need the file, but you need to tell me which file it is. I said, Paige, I'd nearly have got it myself by the time it's taken you to get it. I really am in a rush. Can you just grab the file, please? And she says, Nick, I'm really happy to grab the file for you, but you need to tell me the name of the file and where it is in the filing cabinet. I go, oh, it's Smith, and it's in the top drawer near the front. And she goes, okay. Goes into the first drawer in the filing cabinet, looks in the front of it, finds a folder called Smith, and she hands it to me. Really simple. Now, metaphorically, if you think about when we ask customers for referrals, we'll typically say something like this, which is not what we want to be doing. We'll say, do you know somebody who could use the products and services that I have? So could, use the printing services or the printed products that we have. And what happens in the prospect's minds, they think, boy, I know a lot of people in this company, I know a lot of people in other divisions and departments in my company, and they're doing this unconsciously, by the way. I know a lot of people in the last company I used to work with. I know a lot of people from school, I know people from the golf club, I know people from my church, I know people from the rugby club or the little league coaching club. And because there's so much information and so many different places they could go, when we ask them, they can't think of anybody. So they don't know which file in the filing cabinet to where to look. What we need to do is we need to tell them where in the filing cabinet they need to look. So what we want to do very simply is ask for very specific files. Now, you may be wondering, how do I know which files to look for? And to do that, we need to do a little bit of research. So a little bit of research before we ask the customer for a file. And there's 5 different, so if you think about the metaphor of the filing cabinet, there's 5 different filing drawers that I typically recommend people look in. So if we start at the top of this little circle, and we're going to go clockwise. So the first one might be in new departments. So if I'm dealing with John in the marketing department and he knows Suzanne in the training department, I might have did a bit of research in the company, found out they have a training department, Suzanne runs it, and I might ask for a referral specifically to Suzanne. And I'll explain to you how to ask in a second. So now he knows that's the file I'm looking for. They may be in the company that I'm dealing with. There's other divisions in that company. So I'm dealing with the Division A, and they've got a Division B does a completely different thing to what Division A does. So and you'll see examples of some of the companies that you're working with. And I might do a bit of research, and I'm dealing with the marketing director in department or Division A, and I find out the name of the marketing director in Division B, and then I ask for a specific introduction to that specific person. I could do the same thing with sister companies. So if I was dealing with, say, Virgin, let's say Virgin Balloons, and they have Virgin Weddings or Virgin Music, and I find out the marketing director there or the training director there, then I'd ask for a specific introduction to that. Obviously, you have got to do the research first. So you just go on the internet, get the company report, ask a few questions inside the company. So you find out a piece of information. What I mean by specific networks is, it might be, they're a member of a golf club, and some of the people they play with on the golf at the golf club on a Saturday morning or a Wednesday evening. It could be the coach little league. It could be, they play senior rugby, or it could be a whole range of different places. It could be church activities. So there'll be networks. It could be old schools that they attended where they did their MBA or something. So there'll be specific networks of people. LinkedIn would be a classic network we could tap into at the moment. We could look at LinkedIn and see who they're associated and linked to in the LinkedIn network. So lots of networks, and again, we've got to do a little bit of research so we know who to ask for. And then the 5th area over on the left-hand side is specific contacts. So if they mention in a conversation, or you've picked up from somebody else that they've got a particular contact that you'd like to meet, then you'd ask specifically for that contact. Now, this system, I've used this for years. I've been probably going on 2 decades I've been using this system, and I still use it to this day. So I've used it a number of times this year already. And a simple example of this, we're recording this in autumn of 2010. About a year ago, I wanted to do a project with IPEX, which we did, in fact, at IPEX 2010 up at the NEC Arena in May. But I didn't know anybody at IPEX, but I identified somebody in one of the associations here in the UK who did have a contact at IPEX, and I asked specifically for that introduction. The introduction was made, and then we went along and did what I wanted to do at IPEX in 2010, which was good for us, good for the industry, and good for IPEX. So that's the places you can look. So if you think about the drawers in the filing cabinet, and then you decide, in the new departments, which particular files. So it might be Mary in the training department. Now, the way you ask, there's 2 pieces to the way you ask. So piece 1 is you ask the person that that you've got the relationship. Here's the piece of language. Would you be open to making an introduction to Mary over in the training department? So would you be open to making an introduction to? So that's the piece of language you want to use. Then the second important piece is you have to have identified how you are going to add value to the person you want to be introduced to. So it might go something like this. You might say, John, I'm curious, would you be open to making an introduction to Mary over in the marketing department? I was looking at some of the things they're doing, and I'm pretty confident we could help them improve the return on investment they're getting on some of their marketing projects. And I'd like it if we could make an introduction as opposed to me just contacting her cold. Would you be open to doing that? And typically, if I've got a relationship with the person I'm asking to, those two pieces, so would you be open to making the introduction and then clarifying how you'd add value, that's typically enough to get the introduction. And I'll give you the numbers you can expect. For every 4 referrals that you collect, typically what will happen is 2 of those are going to result in meetings. And for every 2 meetings you get from this system, 1 of them will result in a new client. So simply, if you wanted, say, 5 new clients this month, what you'd say is, I need to get 20 referrals. The 20 referrals will lead to 10 meetings, and the 10 meetings will result in 5 new clients. It's literally that predictable. And as you get better at it, your results will improve over time. So the purpose of learning something is obviously not to learn something. The purpose of learning something is we want to get some results from the thing we've learned. So in order to do that, we need to take some action. Now, I've seen situations in the past where people have been given information like this, but they took no action, and then, of course, they didn't get any results. Now, the problem with some of these people is they went on to fail in sales or fail in business. But I've also seen people who are action-orientated. They're the type of people, they learn something and they go immediately take action. And they're typically the people that end up being successful. They don't just collect good ideas. They actually go apply the stuff they learn, get real feedback in the world. So they go apply the referral system, the filing cabinet referral system. They get some feedback and then they improve as they go along. Now, I'm guessing because you've spent 10 minutes listening to this video, you're one of those people who's more action-orientated. You're not just learning things for the sake of intellectual entertainment. So here's what I want you to do next, is pick 3 of your existing accounts, only 3. So pick 3 of your existing accounts. You get bonus points if you pick more, but let's start with 3. Research those accounts for account extension opportunities, so new departments, new divisions, sister companies, etc. Find out the contact names. So if you're dealing with the marketing director in an account, but you're not dealing with the training department, find out the name of whoever is running the training department. So you've got those specific contact names. And then arrange to see the person you've got the relationship with and then make the referral request. So it's very simple. Pick 3 accounts, research them, get the account names, and then arrange to see your relationship and make the request. Now, I've covered a reasonable amount of information fairly quickly in here. I have actually prepared for you a 1-page summary. So it summarizes the information we covered in this video, and then it outlines the action plan. So it's a 1-page action plan for you in order to get the results that you're after, which is get some new business opportunities and some new sales. And I'm going to give you that free of charge. The request I want to make of you is I'm going to produce a lot of these videos, which I'm going to make available free on the blog. But I want to make sure I'm adding value to the people that are visiting our blog, which means I need to get some feedback from you. So on the right-hand side of the video that you're watching, you will see that there's a little comment box. So just put in your name, email address, and make a comment. And the 2 things I want you to think about on the comment, here's the 2 things I'm not looking for. If you've ever used a referral strategy before and you got results, just tell me what you did and what results you got. So if you've used a referral strategy before, what did you do and what results did you get? The alternative is, if you've never actually done anything like this before, tell me what you picked up that was most useful or most insightful from watching this coaching video. Those 2 things. You don't need to put in the blog that you want a copy of the handout. That's going to happen automatically when you put the comments in there. So just look over on the right hand side. You'll see the comment box in there. Just put your comment in. No need to ask for the handout. That's going to come automatically when you put in the other comments in there. And it's Nick Devine again from the Print Coach, and we'll be back next week with another coaching video. Until then, go find some new business and do some sales opportunities with what you've got today. Thanks and bye for now.